So going with the digital voltmeter and using the diode check function isn't much different than really using the analog meter like I was doing earlier. Instead of seeing the needle fluctuating to that half scale, I'm instead looking for like 0.6 to 0.7 volt reading to show me a forward junction. Now on the high junction, I can't tell much without taking out a circuit. So I got 0.67 base to emitter, 0.68 base to collector. I'm getting hopefully some high number, 1.4 volts across the collector emitter. So at least I know I'm not shorted. Going the other direction across the collector emitter, I'm getting 2.7 volts, which is probably near the limit of this unit in terms of how much voltage it can put out. I took a LED, and you can light an LED with this thing at about 2.6 volts. Light it pretty brightly. This is a pretty efficient LED. So anyways, it's just a matter of plucking around, looking for that magic voltage. If it's a silicon, junction, that's what you're going to read. If it's a Shakti silicon junction, it'll read something like 0.2 something. If it's any kind of germanium junction, it'll be around 0.2 something as well. I think it's 2.6 if I remember right. Germanium, I think, is Shakti. About the same. I can't really remember exactly what it is. 2.8 maybe for Shakti. Also, my old project of the light here, I made in an earlier video. I still use this thing just for this purpose. I can look right through real bright light, concentrated light, and see the outlines of my components. Because otherwise it's really hard to see what's what on this PC board, which is in pretty tough shape. It's very old. It's been worked and reworked many times. A lot of the traces are damaged. I'm going to have to do a little reconstructive surgery to put it all back together. Unfortunately, I put this tape across this meter, meter I was using, because it was misleading me. I was using the RX1. I'm going through the transistors. I was seeing a lot of shorted transistors, I thought. And finally, well, something's wrong here. And I licked my finger and had the other probes on, of course. I get a reading. I know darn well I'm not 100 ohms, no matter how wet my finger is. So this meter's messed up, and I started going inside, and I found a couple resistors that were a little bit off, and started making 3 resistor combos. And I was going to show everybody the math in doing that, whoopie-doo. And all that, and I still didn't get it working right. There's something on this little mini board I'm going to have to take apart and figure out. Production diode or something might have gotten shorted. Anyway, it's almost not worth the effort. It's nice because it's got a big mirrored scale, and that's really what it's worth, that big movement there. So I guess I'll fix it eventually in some way, shape, or form. It's not a high priority. I got a black one just like it that I could bring up. I've got a test bench I set up in my other town, but I've been moving out of that house, and I never really made much use of that test bench. I'm probably going to start tearing it down and set it up in this room. There's a second bench. And then maybe that second bench, the smaller bench, I can just keep my MCU projects on that. So I don't have to tear anything down. That's the kind of thing I want to have out and about, not have to tear it down all the time. So this meter is telling me I'm shutting off. It's kind of nice that it does that, I guess. 9-volt battery that it takes is expensive. Put an alkaline in there. As for the Tiger itself, I've done some really difficult transistor removals. I thought this guy was shorted, as I've explained earlier. Turns out it's healthy, thank goodness. I gotta get these guys back in though without breaking their leads off. They've been worked and reworked a few times now, so I may just leave their leads poking straight through and not even rebend them and tie off to them. Won't be pretty, but it'll work. Might be the safest thing to do. I can't find anything wrong in this PC board. I've gone through most of the resistors. You know, I'm missing half a waveform. I guess the only thing I can do now is put it all back together and do what I should have done before I tore it all apart, and that's look at voltages and waveforms within the circuit board and see exactly where I'm losing it. So at present here I have the driver reinstalled. It looked like it was shorted until I took it out and tested it more carefully. It looks okay, thank goodness. Crowbar transistors are okay as well. They're physically back installed, but they're not electrically installed. They got some damage traces by them, so they're not really hooked in. I got all these wires hanging that used to go to the output transistors, which are missing, of course, at this point. So it's pretty dire straits. And I think just for the heck of it, I'm going to put some power onto it and see what happens. What the heck? What could go wrong? Nothing. Nothing, honey. Oh, it wasn't screwed in all the way. Well, it took power. I don't have a big offset on the output. Output's straight. Very little offset. I'll try audio again on it. Even in this state, it's working pretty well. I'm getting the output I would expect to get out of it. Music I'm testing it with is Cynic Guru. He's got a YouTube page. Cynic Guru. I have to keep light on the graticule or I lose focus. Sorry about that. Keep it tuned down just as fast as. Okay, so now it's operating pretty much normally. You know, for not having output transistors in it, of course. Getting 100 milliwatts or so out of it, who knows. You'll see it starts to clip symmetrically when it clips. Unlike before, when it was clipping asymmetrically.